Hi, today I wanted to talk about posture changes. Now, I know this is a spiritual conversation, and you might wonder why posture changes are anything to do with spirituality, but we are receiving and emitting, transmitting stations. We are signals, we emit a signal. So you can pick up when people have different postures, right? If someone is really very straight and obviously self-confident, that is what we are picking up. We are tuning into their confidence through the posture that they are displaying, the signal they are emitting. We're also a receiving station. So if we are emitting a very confident signal, then we are tuning into the signals that someone who is very confident would tune into. So it is certainly part of the spiritual path. And I have been noticing lots of changes as I've been going through this process. So I wanted to share those with you. The first point is that we're really not aware of how unsymmetrical we are and where we're holding tension and really our posture. We can look in the mirror, we can see ourselves in photos, so we have some idea of what our posture is like, but a lot of the time we're just not aware. I can give two examples from my past where it was so obvious to me. The biggest one was at an orthodontist office many years ago when he was doing something with my jaw, and he said, "Oh, you must have so much tension in your head and your jaw." And even though I used to have migraines back then, I laughed at him because I was not aware of any tension that I had in my jaw or my head. And oh my goodness, there is so much tension still after all these years of work. There is still so much tension, deep tension inside my jaw and my head. And I had no idea, no awareness whatsoever of all this magnitude of tension that's in there. Also, I had a friend that who died a few years ago. I worked with him. We did some tapping work for the last couple of years before he died. And many times he told me this story about how he felt like he had an iron lung, almost this tension around his chest, and he had breathing issues. And when he would talk about this and tell a story about it, I would always check in with myself. Okay, do I feel that tension in my ribs? And it's like, no, I did not think I had tension in my ribs. And it's only recently that I have tuned into that tension in my ribs. So we're really not aware of it. It's in our subconscious mind. It's hidden from our view. And so if we want to change our posture, we have to get into the subconscious, because we can, we can consciously change our posture, right? I can sit upright, I can pull my shoulders back. But as soon as I get out of that conscious mind back into my subconscious, I'm actually going to revert to my former posture. So how do we do that? How do we change that? Well, that is where the inner work comes in. We have to look inside of ourselves. We have to release the tension that is stored inside of ourselves, both emotionally and physically, and they're all connected. So doing this inner work, going through your childhood traumas, looking at them closely, releasing the emotions around them, they're actually releasing the tension inside of our physical body. And as we release more and more, we release tension held in the connective tissue. So recently, this has been just so obvious to me because I do a lot of my deepest release at night, last thing before I go to sleep. When I wake up in the night, it's the first thing I do because my awareness is drawn straight away to that tension, the next layer of tension, the next rubber band on that rubber band ball, the next layer of the onion. I'm aware of that. I release it. And then I do the next layer and the next layer. When I get up and I walk down my hallway, I feel something has changed. Maybe the angle of my pelvis has changed something. My gait, my stance has changed slightly. And I'm aware of that change. I know something has shifted. And of course, then I'm become aware of that next tension, because if my pelvis has shifted slightly, then I'm going to feel tension somewhere else that has been used to being in the wrong position, and it's now being stretched. And so I have to then work on that next layer, right? So it's definitely layer by layer by layer by layer. There's so many layers, but we can work on one layer at a time. And as things go, our posture changes. And as our posture changes, the signal we're emitting changes. And as the signal we're emitting changes, the signals that we tune into change, which means we actually get different thoughts than we had before, which is really, really fun when you start to experience different thoughts that you haven't had before. So it's absolutely worth doing. You won't necessarily become aware of the physical changes straight away, but as you start to release tension, you start to loosen up, it becomes easier and easier to release tension at a deeper layer. So, good luck with that. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer any questions. So, maybe put a message out, a comment on this video or on my Facebook page, or send me a message through my website, and I'd be happy to help you along on this journey. Take care. Bye bye.